It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Web3 on the streets trying to consume some bills for the eve so I can get some skills. Rolling in my ride, stacker bills. Blockchain warriors at the break of dawn. Adrian and Danny, legends being born. System breakers, we rewriting the code. Stacking up skills while we lighten your load. Those who hold tokens know just what it means. NFT visions, turning into dreams. Freedom ain't free, but we building the key. Web3 revolution, yeah, that's the decree. Chain breakers, setting you free. Masters of memes, building your legacy. Chain breakers, stack and believe. Digital soldiers, plant that seed, watch it breathe. Projects we build like castles in the sky. Interviews dropping, watch those metrics fly. Giveaways spinning, fortunes to claim. Supporting the stackers, that's the name of the game. This ain't no trend, it's a movement with soul. Freedom's the mission, taking back control. Generations rising, value over gold. Breaking the chains that the system has sold. Just hit the east side of the blockchain scene, where ballers stake tokens and builders convene. If knowledge is power and freedom's the goal, then stackers the key to unlocking your soul. Kings and queens rising, soldiers deploy, commanders and knights, the systems destroy. Mean militia armed with digital might, financial freedom, our God-given right. The brand hackers mission, clear in our sight, coaching the masses to win in this fight. When the dust settles and chains are all broke, we'll stand as the leaders who help the world woke. Chain breakers, no, setting you free. Masters of memes, building your legacy. Chain breakers, come on, stack and believe. Digital.
Yo, good morning. Happy freaking Tuesday. It is July 1st, and welcome to the Chain Breakers. Man, what an amazing day it has been. I got a good workout this morning, and I'm just waiting for Danny to show up here. I did a little expedited intro today on the play song because we got a really special episode I got for you. But welcome to the Chain Breakers, where we don't play by their rules, and we sure as hell don't ask for permission. This is the show for the rebels, the builders, and the warriors of Web3, and we're tearing down the old systems, one skill, one project, and one blockchain at a time, and we're building a new economy that's powered by freedom, AI, NFTs, and Stacker, and so many more things to come. Every day, we're going to bring you the real talk, the projects that are worth betting on, the people who are actually making moves, and the plays that can set you and your future free. Giveaways, yep, we got them every single day. Skills, we're stacking them, and chains, we're breaking them. With that being said, this is the Chain Breakers. Let's get it rolling. All right, well, let's go see here. Today's going to be wild, as I promised yesterday. I said this morning, I posted in Discord. If you're watching this right now, please give me a shout out. All my fam here. OG Gamer Gangsta, what's going on, fam? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Sleepy Squirrel in the house. Me at man, my guy. We got Not Yet here. Let's go. This is going to be a surprise episode that you guys probably, you guys for sure were not expecting. But I'm going to go ahead. Oh, looks like we got our guest. Looks like we got our you don't look like Danny. Who's this?
What's up?
Who's this guy?
Who is this?
Who is this? I know that. Wait a minute. I know that voice.
You don't know this face.
I don't know that
You know
face.
the voice, but you don't know the face.
Oh, man, I could put a voice to that face. What is it? It's the Joe.
What up, man?
What's up, brother? Dude, it's so great to have you here, bro.
It's a whole new experience having a video.
Dude, it's a whole new experience.
Yeah.
I know people on X don't like exposing who they really are, but
I don't mind it. The part that I don't like about it is I don't get to walk around.
Yeah, well, you're
pace
good
around
looking
and
dude.
smoke. So, well, thank you.
Look at that.
Which side? Yeah.
Looks different without lipstick.
Yeah, right. Lipstick or cucumber eyes.
Or cucumber eyes. Oh, man, we'll get into all that in a minute, but I'm glad to have you on here, brother. For those that don't know you, which I think is very few people at this point, but those that don't know you, kind of give us a little bit of background on your history in Web3 and what you're all about.
Yeah, I got involved pretty heavily in Web3 in like 2020. Okay. I was a builder, construction guy, swung hammers. Yeah. Could hardly send emails, but I loved like the message of Bitcoin and Web3, just sort of whenever power congeals, it's bad for people,
It's true.
and so the idea of decentralizing power really spoke to me on a like a philosophical level, really spoke to my politics, and
Yeah.
not to get like, again, like I don't want to know how far you want to go down that road, but again, just on that level, it really, really spoke to me, and it necessitated that I learned tech, which I didn't really know before.
Yeah,
So
it's a whole new world.
yeah, if I wanted to, get involved in this cool new stuff, I'm gonna have to learn how to like get a wallet, and what is a wallet, and what's, learn what a blockchain, just all these things I had no clue about.
Yeah.
And yeah, that started that, and then I just got involved in a couple NFT projects, hit a couple home runs early in like 2021 with this project Creeps, which
Ah,
was like a big home run for me.
that's neat.
Yeah, it was great early thing, which I just totally, like most things, I just kind of stepped in, no plan at all, just stepped into the golden puddle.
Where did you see the potential in creeps? Like what caught your attention with that?
So again, it was just a total happy accident. This
Hmm.
is when I'm finally feeling, so this is like, 2021. I've bought and sold a few coins at this point. NFTs are becoming kind of the big deal at
Hmm.
this time. And I just saw this really active community on what was then Twitter, it's
Hmm.
obviously before X. And
Yeah.
people were just like super stoked about it. I loved their energy. They were funny as fuck. And
Yeah.
like, and it just like totally got my kind of sense of humor, and man, I loved it. I loved it. So
That's
I
so
was
good.
sold. Yeah.
So you went from creeps, and then what was the next project that you found?
God Hates NFTs,
Oh, I
the
remember. Yeah, yeah, I've
Rick
heard
and
of that.
Morty guys,
Uh-huh.
holding that. So those were like both like ETH projects.
Okay.
Same thing. Again, just loved the funny as fuck. Loved the energy of everyone. There's this guy Preacher in there, and he would just go on and on
Oh,
forever,
that guy's crazy, dude.
bro. And well, and the whole thing was, it was like, um,
Oh no, we lost the Joe.
sorry, I got a phone call.
Sorry. All good.
Uh-oh.
There's a if you swipe down your screen, are you using Apple or Android? Oh, we lost him. If he swipes the screen down, we lost the Joe. He'll be back. There we go.
Is this okay? Am I
Yeah,
back?
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah, you're
phone call. Sorry.
all good.
Yeah, so then he would go on and on and on with just all this stuff, you're gonna burn in hell, and he just had this kind of funny southern voice, and he would just go on these rants, it was great, man. So I love, again, same thing, I loved it. Just that whole like 4chan attitude, kind
Yeah,
of really that shit posting, which you're a master at too, like I again, I just loved all that stuff, I
that's neat.
again, so Web3 has always spoke to me, and yeah.
What were did you find any projects that you were like, this isn't my vibe, or the leader really isn't the kind of person that I want to vibe with? Like what are some of the things that you found that you were like, I'm not, this isn't for me, and
Well,
decide
I mean, it's Web3, bro, so there's like a million
a million.
scams and rugs, and just all kinds of thorns, thistles, and snares, right?
Mhm.
So I definitely, especially in those early days, like stepped into some bear traps, and one in particular, on AVAX, because I was jumping around chain to chain, I was, especially early on,
Mhm.
I was trying to just figure everything out. And there's one on AVAX where I got rugged,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, lost like over 100 grand.
Whew.
Yeah.
A
So
hundred G's.
yeah, it was tough, man. That was a tough loss, because that it was
Wow.
like and that was a lot of my like creeps money, and yeah, so like all my wins kind of went away on that one. It
That's
was rough.
interesting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like they say, the longer you play, the the house has a higher chance of winning or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I got stung there. That was kind of a strange situation. I still don't even really know exactly what happened there. I think the original dev had brought someone in to help with the
Hmm.
project, and then I think that guy that he brought in, or it could all be bullshit, and he,
Yeah.
just did it. So again, I still don't really know exactly, but it seemed like he was also a victim too. I still kind of think that to this day. So,
Damn, dude.
um, but I looked at that, man, like, I didn't go to college. Okay,
Yeah.
I went right into having my own business kind of early on, and I just went like I went right into working, and I just looked at like the rugs as that was my cost for my PhD.
Exactly. It was your
You
college
know,
degree.
yeah,
Exactly.
as a PhD in Web3. You know,
PhD. Well, I think now you've probably got your double doctorate at this point, and we'll get into more of that stuff down the road. I want to. We'll come up to the Gary Club and the Draft Tower here in just a few minutes, but I just wanted to let people kind of understand your perspective, your background, your history. That you know this stuff. You've learned this stuff. You've pretty
well,
much
and
seen it all at this point,
real
right?
quick, what I'll say as a result of those things. So I okay, as a result of the rug,
Yeah.
and as a result of watching other communities that I wasn't as involved in as, like, say, like, Creeps or something, where because
Mhm.
like Creeps, I was like,
Your
it
guy.
was like it was my PFP for a long time, and like I was like really really into it, and um, there were like one thing that I would kind of see happen, and kind of seeing how again, um, is you would see this this kind of this tipping point in
Yeah.
certain communities where um you know it, uh, some like a promise wouldn't get delivered on or something,
Mhm.
and then there would start like this tension would kind of start, and it would go first off, it would go like um unrecognized, like it's like a bad smell,
Okay.
right? People can smell it, but no one's going to acknowledge it in the room,
Uh-huh.
and
That's
then
exactly right.
the next thing, it starts turning into like finger pointing, like, oh, well, this is this, it's not, and just kind of this like toxicity that would start, and
Huh.
um I I hated that. I
Yeah.
hated that.
Bad
So
energy.
yeah, just that energy, it wasn't fun to me. And again, this stuff is, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it.
What's the
The,
freaking point, dude? Like, we
yeah,
work way too hard in our everyday Web two
right.
businesses and our Web two life to go somewhere and to not have any fun.
This
Yeah.
stuff for me is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Like it, I'll just go put the bags back on my hip if I want to go, like, not enjoy an afternoon and go deal with
Exactly.
a shitty homeowner or something, right? So anyway, like I would, see stuff like that. So that really had me turn for quite a while. Like, I don't want to get involved in communities and stuff. And also I'd never really been a great trader,
Oh, okay.
just like as far as, and frankly, I don't think anyone is.
Yeah.
I think people who say they are probably selling you something.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I got into liquidity pools. And
Huh.
liquidity pools is kind of where I spent most of my time and made most of my money in Web3.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of them on like base chain and OP. There's
Nice.
a some great protocols on those two chains in particular where you can
Okay.
make some serious money in liquidity pools.
Oh, look who it is.
What up, Danny?
What up?
God, looks like he could be my uncle.
Danny and a
Yeah,
dozer.
Wow.
I'm in a
Yeah.
skid steer right now.
I can
Cool.
tell. Look
There
at
you go.
you.
I started my career in construction too, so it's funny. We all have blue collar backgrounds, and we've all congregated
I love it.
together. I appreciate all that background. What I want to say before we get into anything else, I'm going to do a couple updates, and then we'll come back to you and kind of finish the conversation towards the end of this. We probably will do some giveaways at the end. I don't know if we're going to have time, but we're going to get into some really deep conversation here in a few minutes. But what I want to say is, for me, my journey is way shorter, but ever since meeting you, you created such a space. Like, there's very few people in my life where I've taken the time. My wife, my daughter, Gary, and you, I've created songs for, right? The people that have really made an impact in my life, the people who have really done a lot for me, that have lifted me up, that have encouraged me, that have supported me, that have showed up every single day and been that light in the world. Let me just put it that way, to be the
Wow.
light in the world. And that's something that it doesn't take me very long to see that in a person. I spot that very quickly, because what I struggle with is to see in others what I don't myself possess. I think that's a truth for all of us here.
Sure.
We
Sure.
struggle to see if someone's evil, or someone's a grifter, or someone's a scammer, or someone's got ill intentions. I really struggle to see that, because it's just not, I'm an open
Yeah.
book. It's just the way I am. It's who
Yeah.
I am. It's how I operate. It's how I think. I just don't have a malicious intent in my body.
Yeah.
And
Same
so
here. Same here.
with your personality type, I just immediately was gravitated, and I didn't care if you were talking about nothing in Spaces for freaking 3-4 hours. I just sat there and listened because it was just funny. Like, you're funny. Your relationship with Dunk was hilarious. Like, Dunk's relationship with you, and just the dynamics we got to have. Like, it was a true friendship and a true bond. And then you'd have Gary pop in there from time to time and, you know, share some alpha and stuff. But I was coming back every single day because of you and the vibe that you created in the community. So I just want to give you your flowers. Somebody
Thank
told
you.
me the other day, we give people their flowers when they're alive, not when they're dead.
Exactly.
That's
I
where
like
the
that.
flowers things came from.
Like
So
that.
I learned that recently. And so I just want to give you your flowers, because I've seen a lot in 6 months. I've seen a lot of really cool people, and I've seen a lot of shady people. And you're one of the solid dudes. And I'm grateful to have you on this show today. And we're going to dive into some deep stuff, and probably some uncomfortable stuff for people who are here watching this right now. We got 80 people that are watching. But what do you want to say, Danny? I can see you.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Are
just
you
playing.
messing with us, you fucking shithead? Oh, I love you. So I want to give a quick update, and then we'll jump back into the conversation, because I know people are probably wondering what's going on here. So let me see.
Well, in that case, I'm going to grab some more coffee.
Yeah, grab some coffee. So we're currently at a 1 soul floor price with Me Militia right now. That's freaking huge. Look at, we're climbing back up. We're moving in the right direction. I'll close that out so you guys can see. We got some soldiers here for about 1 soul. Some freaking deals on the floor. We got a commander for 1.7. I know whose wallet that is. Excited for them to be able to make some liquidity. That's the whole game here. Got Meme Militia, Knight right here. Got some really good deals here on the floor. And then you got a queen that is also here on the floor, the 2NX. So really, really neat. There's a freaking deal on a queen right now. You also got this queen deal as well. So this is another one. So there's some queens available. And then the only king you're going to be able to get access to here is this guy here for 99 soul. So some really good opportunities there, but we're moving on up. We are at a 74K market cap, 49 out of 555 listed, 110 owners. Looks like we dropped 1 or 2 owners in the last few days, 2 sales in the last 24 hours. But I want to show you guys on activities. I'm just going to go to only buys. Let me see if I can deselect this. Okay, so it just shows it this way. So as of yesterday, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. This is awesome. 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so like 33. That's a crazy number. That's a freaking very spiritual number for me. So 33 Me Militia are going to be put on the wheel for June that are going to win a Queen Me Militia plus 1 million skill stacker tokens, plus every single person that bought over the last week. Lazy Man did a giveaway. Make sure you go follow Lazy Man. He's also doing another 100,000 for everybody that bought. So if you didn't pay attention, you weren't locked in, you didn't see this deal, pretty much everybody, I think from about here forward is getting 100,000, so 100,000, 200,000. 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. So about 500 to 600,000 on top of the 1 million that he's giving away, and then I'm giving away the Queen Meme Militia. So super stoked for you guys that have participated in this, that grabbed yourself a Meme Militia in June. It's now July 1st. We'll do something again special. There's a potential to get a king. I might give a king. We'll see how this month goes. I'll come up with some stuff, but we're going to be doing some stuff with some giveaways. I'm not going to share too much on that, but with that being said, let me jump over to Stacker real quick. Here we go. Oh, look at this. So we got a couple people that burned some Stacker, and then I also burned some Stacker this morning. So if you go back here and you see, where is it at? Where's my burn? Where is it? Why isn't it showing? Let's see here. Let me refresh. Maybe old. Oh yeah, this is mine. So we have the 100,000 that I burned here. I've done 2 burns now of 200,000, and then we have this 1,000 that got burned. So we're burning down that supply. There was a bunch of people that hit burns yesterday. I paid a bunch of people out that won. I went through everybody on the list. If you're watching this stream and for some reason I missed you on the giveaways, you bought Stacker and you're holding a Meme Militia, and you didn't get Stacker in your wallet, let me know how much Stacker you got today. If you did get Stacker, I'd love to see in the comments, how much Stacker did you get? Drop a comment down in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Joe?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, maybe it was Danny. I think Danny said something. Okay. He may have just been talking to somebody else. So I just wanted to make sure you guys could see that. In fact, let me pop our faces back up here. There we go. Let's see. We got SBD, one-handed tricked me. That's funny. That's true. SDB.
It was me. I said, watch what happens. I'm getting ready to do something.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said, I'm getting ready to. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I know what you're up to.
Big sell incoming.
Yeah, something incoming. Okay, so we're doing good. We're got a 70,000 market cap. Look at that green candle, Joe.
I know. Look at that.
That's a beautiful green candle right there. Somebody had sold like 20-something million. I bought a bunch. I was like, oh, this is a great accumulation opportunity for you. I bought a bunch more to give away for the giveaways, and then for the wheel, and then bam, this thing out of nowhere, this thing just shot back up. We're dipping down again, but I think we'll climb up again. But overall, I mean, dude, we're moving in the right direction. We got 646 holders. Just about as many people are holding Giraffe, maybe even a little bit more, which is freaking awesome. And then what else did I have? I have my notes here. Oh yeah, I mentioned the Queen and the million. I showed Stacker. I showed all the buys. 33 people that are going to be going on the wheel for all that. And then that's pretty much it for today, as far as kind of giving you guys an update. I'm not going to show you the market. You guys can look that up.
Are you still on Stacker?
What's that?
Are you still on Stacker?
Yeah, I'm still on Stacker. Let me refresh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, snap, Danny. 382,000 burned. Come on. And he's still in profit. Look at that. He's up 4%. Not bad. Not bad.
Oh, I'm transferred out of that wallet just so I could use it for burning.
There you go. There you go. I freaking love it, man. You're the best, dude. You're the best. So let's get into.
Where'd Joe go?
There we go. He's here.
There he is.
There we go. I got a phone call. You're gonna have to bear with me. I get a million phone calls, so
It's
that'll
all
happen
good,
again probably.
I know how it is for a baller. I get like 3 or 4 phone calls every time I'm on this stream. So, well, let's get into the other part of the conversation.
You get it.
I got some notes here. So, let's fast forward now. So you go through all the stuff. You had the wins. You had some successes. You had some losses, and then you stumble upon Gary Club.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that all happened and kind of how you came into the Gary world.
Don't remember the exact how I think I read an article or something. I don't quite remember how I exactly found it. Anyway, I just ended up like subscribing to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then saw, there's this school community, and went in there, and there was like, you could get to like level 9 and get a free giraffe.
Uh-huh.
Giraffes were like 0.4 soul.
Okay.
Super, super cheap.
Yeah.
So I bought like 20 something.
Wow.
Probably
about
like my first investment into it was probably like $2,500.
Okay.
like getting giraffe and Gary coin.
So there was a pretty decent amount of conviction to jump in at that price point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I liked what I was hearing, and plus, I probably have a higher risk tolerance. I play poker and you know what I mean. Like, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm a bit of a degen.
Yeah.
What can I
Yeah.
say?
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll like,
Joe's a degen?
yeah, I like the high octane. So
Yeah.
um, I'll I'll find something small and be like, all right, let's see. You never know, because some of these things that are like 4 cents that
Yeah.
can really go somewhere. So
It's true.
um 4 cents, was the coin when I first bought it,
Yeah.
and it was so fucking reactive. you
Mhm.
know um I'd buy it and I'd have to kind of stop because it would run up to like 6 cents, and then people would want to sell. So
Mm.
I just kept buying in tranches. I didn't really like set up a DCA or anything. I just would kind
Okay.
of buy in tranches.
Yeah.
Again, you can see my wallets. It's all pretty
Yeah, you don't hide
public.
anything.
I don't hide. Yeah, I didn't try to hide anything. It I would just buy and sell in big tranches,
Yeah.
and um, it was just so reactive. Again, like in that first, like when I first started, if you look at the giraffe chart,
Yeah.
you can kind of like see like Joe's stream start, Joe's stream end.
Yeah.
Um, and if you look on the like 215,
Oh, that's
um,
right. Yeah,
is
let's do it.
when we started the stream or the
That's true.
spaces.
Very true. Let me try to find.
Um, if you remember, I don't know if you were in there at the very beginning, but
Uh,
like, um, I was always pushing people like, buy the coin because this thing's so fucking reactive. We can double it. We can double it. And for the first, like, I think it was like each week, I was like challenging everyone here. Let's go from 4 cents to 9 cents. Let's go
uh-huh.
from 9 cents to 18 cents. Let's go, and then I think that's where we kind of petered out, was
Let's see.
around 20 cents. But yeah, I think that's the one I was talking
There we
about.
go. There we go.
If you
So
go to like 6 months,
let's go to 6 months. Where is it at here? Oh, there we go. 6 months. Yep. There we go.
or go to year, maybe a
So
year will catch you.
February 2025. Yeah, we'll go to 1 year. Let's see here.
Probably easier to tell.
Yeah. So you're talking about what you came in November? What month?
Well, when I first bought I think it was like last October,
Okay.
but I
So
was talking
somewhere in
about the
here.
stream.
Yeah. And then you started the stream in February.
215, yeah.
Yep. So there's 2.9 and then 2.15. Look at that.
Yeah.
2.15. And then we shot up, hit a 3.6 soul floor. I remember when this dipped down because I was actively involved at this point. And then it dipped down a little bit. People were taking some liquidity and jumping out, some of the old school people, because it had, climbed so high. At that
Yeah.
point, this was a big deal for all of us. We were like,
Yeah.
dude, we got in at like 1 soul or whatever,
Yep.
and it climbed up.
That's
And
kind of
then,
when I bought my last two. Because I bought a couple right around like, I think like two or three
oh, okay.
were like the last that I bought.
And then we
Well,
just,
then I had some buys in like 7 and 8 too, but that those were like flip
and then we,
buys.
and then we kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And then it was right around May 24th where things took a turn.
Hmm.
So let's talk about, because one thing that's really important for me, and I have this even in my notes here, is I want to honor people, especially when they're not around. And the way that we speak about a person is very important to me. And one of
Of
the one of
course.
the, one of the
Yeah.
gifts that I have is that I have been able to shine a light on people, and either it lifts them up or it exposes them for who they are. Right. So we'll share from that perspective, is just shining a light and just coming in there and being yourself, honoring people, giving people shout outs, giving people praise where praise is due, asking hard questions, not being afraid to have a backbone. The energy started to shift, right? We had this huge momentum. You were excited, back in here to get
Yep.
involved. You bought a bunch of Gary, a crap ton of Gary, you bought a bunch of giraffes, and then you started building
In
your bag.
fact, I imagine that first little bump is probably me. No,
Yeah.
that going back even further.
Oh, yeah, like right
I bet
here.
you like that. Yeah, I bet you that's probably me.
Uh-huh.
Um, maybe. I don't know what month that is, but yeah,
November
well,
3rd.
well, yeah. So I think that's probably me then, because I think that's when I first was buying big, was in November and December, buying
Yep.
like tranches of like 10.
Yep.
Um, so for me, well, I guess I kind of foreshadowed this a little bit earlier in the conversation,
Yeah.
when I was saying, like, look, one thing I think that, look, first off, I just want to preface this with saying being a leader is hard. I've um I've led organizations. I've, started things from the ground up. It's not easy.
It's
So I
not.
want to preface that by just acknowledging that it's difficult. It's very difficult.
Hmm.
And um just with human nature too, it's also not, we're not wired in a way to admit when we're wrong. People, it's hard for people. It's hard for people to say, "Hey, I made a mistake."
Yep.
For some reason, we're wired in this way where we think if we say, "Hey, I made a mistake," a lightning bolt's going to come hit us, and we're going to turn into flame. It's
Yeah.
actually the opposite. When we admit when we're wrong, a lightning bolt doesn't hit us, and in
Yep.
fact, you normally walk an inch taller after, because people respect you.
Yep.
Um, and I look at that time that we're talking about there.
At the beginning here.
Well, by May,
Yeah.
by May, I think we're getting to a point where I know myself,
Mhm.
I'm feeling a little like maybe some promises haven't been kept, and maybe, tech that I thought was there in the past based on charts and stuff that I had seen
Mhm.
may not actually be there, may not be getting delivered, and um, just losing confidence.
Yep.
And then just feeling like time's getting fractionalized into other things.
Mhm.
Um, Focus, rather than just being on the one piece of tech that we're talking about, is focus is going into all kinds of other stuff.
Yep.
Some other raffle site, giveaways, and then out of nowhere, like a whole new show, which,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a bit of a slap in the face to me.
It was. I
Um,
fully agree with that. I even wrote.
and I felt like I took that on the chops like a man.
Yep.
Um, and and again, look, I probably wouldn't have done it anyway, but because I'm not gonna do like a news show,
Mhm.
but just to at least have like a token, like, hey, you've
Yeah.
been doing this for 6 months.
Exactly.
Again, like, even if you're not going to pay the bill, at least like reach for your wallet, and then
Yeah.
like pretend like you're going to try.
That's
Um,
kind of funny,
so
Adrian.
a little bit of that,
Yeah.
um, and so yeah, there was a little bit of, I don't want to go as far as saying like resentment, but it did sting. It
Yeah.
stung, and but it also just kind of felt like, again, things are getting fractionalized. Where,
Yeah.
I don't know, the purpose of this is to create like a Solana news network. I thought we
Yeah.
were, but then like also too, just the promise. And again, like, I just want to preface it. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to say like, hey, I made a mistake here. Uh, Which, the funny thing is had that just happened, I'd
Mhm.
probably be getting ready to do a space in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Where, had it just been something like, hey guys, look, trying to build a piece of tech which is fucking wild. No
Yeah.
one's ever done it before,
It's hard.
and it's hard, and it's taken me a little bit longer. And they've just been kind of like that leveling,
Some humility, maybe.
some humility. That, yeah, and again, like, everyone, rather than the lightning bolt hitting, everyone would be like, you know what? Yeah, give them some grace.
Yeah.
This is hard, but there just always kind of seems to be a blame pushed. Well,
Yeah.
I told people to do this and they didn't, and it just always kind of felt like that. And then it also just changed too. It just changed from, it's going to be set it and forget it, to not set it and forget it,
It has to be
to
highly monitored
you're going
now.
to need to monitor it.
And you have to be really good at gambling and trading. And if you're not, it's
and I'm
probably
not
not
good at trading.
for
That's the whole reason
you.
why I'm there to begin with. That's why I was bought into this. And again, look, man, this is just the whole thing of like it, and then it would just sort of change, and there would just be no acknowledgement.
Mhm.
It'd be like, instead of there being like, hey, I know I had said this is going to be a set it and forget it thing before, and dude, originally like being like told like, hey, I'm going to have this thing in my hands at like the end of January, February. It's just like it's crazy. Just the
Mhm.
timeline just kept moving. Things just kept moving, and um anyway, and I hung in as long as I could,
Mhm.
and partly just out of duty, just kind of
Yeah.
kept showing up. I'm sure you probably heard a change in tone
Oh yeah,
from me.
everybody did. Everybody did.
Yeah,
Nothing was said, so everybody like felt this energy, and then I think that they like all started to kind of like pull back, and that's where it kind of became a weird shift in energy, and people were like, okay, this is different. There's something in here. Hold on one
well, because
second.
I was showing up out of, like I said, just out of pure duty
Yeah,
at some point. It just sort of probably some point in May or something. It
yeah,
probably some. I had like a cut and an infection on my legs, and
yeah. I remember that.
probably kind of coming back from that is when I was probably tapped out, like out of gas at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's I mean, I heard, that's when I shifted things, and I felt things shift with you, and then that's when I reached out to you. I was like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? That's because I
And then
care.
you got like a throw up. Yeah, I like kind of threw up everything onto you. So yeah, sorry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. But
So, and I'm
yeah.
like, man, this is understandable. So I'm like, I got a relationship and a friendship with Gary that goes beyond Gary Coin, that goes beyond giraffes, that goes back before this. I don't
And,
really
and
like
I don't,
giraffe.
by the way, and I don't like
Yeah,
so him and I did not have that. Like we were not friends before. We weren't really
yeah,
necessarily friends during this. We were never calling each other up and saying, hey, how's the family? What
yeah.
I don't even really, we don't really know. I couldn't tell you his middle name. We don't know we don't really know each other.
For
So
sure, for
yeah,
sure. Well, I'm the kind of person that gives people like 100% of my trust until they give me a reason not to, or most people don't
sure,
trust
sure.
anybody until they give them a reason to.
Yeah.
And for me,
I'm
just
actually more on your side with that. I'm very quick to trust. I'm very quick
yep,
to trust. And
because we're trusting people. Like
well,
like we are trustworthy ourselves.
the thing is, you said something at the beginning of the stream that I really like, and I'm going to steal it.
Yeah,
Is you're quick to recognize things in people that you are, and I guess I'd never made that connection before, and that's a good. It's very astute. It's very wise.
my wife is insanely introspective and very deep in that way. And she actually said, she's like, babe, I love you, but when it comes to spotting because she would tell me, oh no, not that guy, babe, and I'm like, no, he's freaking awesome. Look at
Yeah,
him, he's doing he's, and then like
yeah,
months
yeah.
later, she's like, I told you, and I'm
Yeah,
like, this fucking guy, what the
dude,
heck, man? Or
that's Andrea. That's
yeah,
Andrea with
the
me too.
women
She's
just
like, "Oh,
have
you're gonna have
amazing
trouble with
discernment.
this person," and I'm like, "No, no, he's great. He's great. Let's have him over." And she's like,
Yep.
"No, you're gonna have trouble with him. Trust me."
Yep. And that
Yeah,
discernment, I realized, is a spiritual gift. And my wife said that to me. She said, babe, you just don't understand that you have a hard time seeing in others what you don't yourself possess. And I have
yes,
that ability to see that in people
yes,
because I grew up in an environment with all those people around me. So when you grow up in an environment where you see it so clearly, and then you come across a person that's like that, you're like,
yep,
whoa. So
yep.
I'm
Oh,
very trusting. And I didn't see that, but I went to a conference in April. If you guys will remember, I was gone for a couple days at that
I
conference.
do remember. I
And at
do.
that
Yeah,
conference, I was told to say hi to people for Gary. I was told to, you know, give some shit to people that didn't buy Gary coin. I was told that didn't buy a giraffe. And then I had some people that like really warned me, and they were like, dude, you need to be careful. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, that's my boy, bro. Like,
yeah,
trust me. He's like, no, 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 trust me. And I'm like, it's kind of like my wife. And I'm like, no, bro, that's my boy. That's my dog. Like, he's got my back, dude. Like every time I've asked him for help, he's got my back. He's helped me. Like he's on my side, dude. Like we're cool. We're cool. And he's like, man, all I can tell you is that a couple years back, that dude went to jail and his wife called me up asking for money because they had no money. And he's like, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But one of my close friends warned me. And so I ignored that flag. But what I did do at that time, and
that's news
anybody
to
here
me.
can do the same
Okay.
thing, is you can go to binverified.com. You can go to instantcheckmate.com. Those are 2 different background check websites that I use on a regular basis. I pretty much search everybody, and I had never done that before. And once I ran that background check, that's when my perspective started to shift. And after talking to you, I was like, dude, because I mean, you remember when I got on the phone with you, I was like, bro, like, I know you guys, like, I understand where you're coming from, but like, Gary's my boy and you're my boy. Like, we're just going to have to find a way to work this out. And then when you started actually explaining things, you can't argue with logic. You can't argue with truth. You can't argue with the simple facts. When people are making a lot of noise and they're sharing so much information and they're making things super complicated and wishy-washy in their words and their actions, and they're constantly bashing on people and exposing people and trying to tear other people down, it starts to become like, okay, it starts to become a pattern. You start to go, okay, why is this happening? Where is this coming from?
Well, it's like I like to say, people always tell on themselves. People always tell on themselves. And, you know, I'm doing this with like politicians, like Democrats and politicians, and like, like they're talking about how, you know, people aren't peaceful or something. And it's like, no, you're not peaceful. But it's, again, it's just something, it's a recognizable pattern. And, you know, you had mentioned something to me about like, that was directed at me, you know, that was directed at me about like me having a pet, which is funny because I don't have a pattern. And, you know, I've been like not really on Solana. So to say that there's a pattern of me on Solana, and so there just isn't, because I did everything on base and optimism, you know, before. But also too, to just kind of like think that like I had some like nefarious plan coming in is just fucking wild.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like
what was your vision for this whole thing then?
my vision was I thought I was going to get a piece of AI tech that would trade for me. That was my vision. That was my vision, that I'd get a piece of AI tech that I could throw some money at and then go smoke a pack of cigarettes in my backyard. You know, I didn't. That was my vision.
And
You
so
know, I
what were
just
the
kind of
expectations?
believed what I was told.
What were you told exactly? What were you told when that was going to be coming out and when you would have that?
Well, I mean, look, that's one thing that you know, that was like trying to fucking
Catch up.
grab a slippery fish with, you know, water on my hands. You know, so obviously never told like a date, but definitely, you know, strung along. There were a couple times early on too, like, oh, definitely within the next, you know, month or two. And, you know, then that would just again, just kind of just go unacknowledged, and, you know, and just not brought up again, and kind of moved on. And again, like I was talking about with the bad smell in the room, you know, it's like no one's acknowledging it. And, you know, and again, I get the pressure that's on people. I have always understood that too. And I felt like gave a lot of leeway as a result, like recognizing that I'm sure he's under an enormous amount of pressure,
Well,
you know.
you make a lot of commitments. I mean, I remember a conversation I had with you about you saying something like, and oh, for sure, end of January, we'll have something.
Yeah. And then it's like, that's not there. And then it's like, oh, you know, before summer. And it's like, okay, well, you know, July 4th's around the corner, you know?
And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe Independence Day. Like that would make sense for somebody like him. You know, you said something I just want to unpack just quickly, very quickly here. Is there's a mentality that I think where people are calling other people grifters and scammers, and, you know, using those types of terms with people they don't have anything to back that. There's no facts or
Terrible.
it's all speculation, right? Where they don't really have any facts. And then they say, oh, the blockchain backs it all, and all that stuff. And I understand that, but there's a mentality that I just don't understand, and I don't connect. And maybe you can help me make sense of this, like everyone is out to get you. Let me just, instead of facing this problem head on and talking about this problem head on, let me run from this, block people, call people names, call people scammers, tell people that they're better off without them. This like running from problems, whether it's running to Puerto Rico or running to wherever you're running to.
That was actually a revealing thing to me, finding out that like, he, you know, like ran from wife, kids. I don't know that whole story, but I just know that, you know, he ran, he's a runner. And and look, the thing is, man, you know, I think it's easier on people's psyche to just say, hey, it's your fault, Adrian. It's
Put up
not
their
my fault.
defenses. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, there's this fear where people just don't want to come out and just say, "Hey, I overpromised," and
Hmm.
and I and again, it's not easy to do. I get that. That's hard
Good.
to do.
For
It's
sure.
hard to do, and so I do want to acknowledge that, but it's the way this whole thing could have been. What it really came down to, and what I was talking to you about, you referenced our phone call, was just the traits of a good and bad leader.
Hmm.
And what that's what we discussed,
Yep.
so everyone can know that. And a good leader doesn't go around blaming subordinates, blaming other people who he wants to have follow them, he or she wants to have follow them.
Hmm.
A good leader inspires people, right? And says, hey, here's what we can do together, not you're a fucker and I'm right.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what a high school drama queen does, actually,
Yeah.
not a leader. And
Yeah.
and there just seems to be a lot of that. And again, what that always leads to, again, me as like a history guy, I always like to kind of make this little joke of, Bill Clinton didn't get in trouble for getting
Hmm.
a blowjob from Monica Lewinsky. He got in trouble for lying about getting a blowjob from Monica Lewinsky.
Fact.
And, again, same thing. Had he just kind of come out in 1999 and been like, guys, look, I'm the president, the power gets to your head, and then here's this 20-year-old girl over here. Guys, put yourself in my position. I work late, I'm flying around the world, and then here's this girl, she's giving me all this love and adoration, and plus look at Hillary, like, come on.
Yeah.
People probably would have given a little bit of grace, right? But then to sit up there and say, like, I did not have, that's it.
Yeah.
Now now it's a whole new thing.
That's
And so again, to draw parallels between the two, between a president and giraffe,
yeah.
um it's rather than just saying, hey, kind of overpromised, and we're going to get there, and we're going to get there together, and I'm going to get there with you guys because you're going to help, and
Yeah.
we're going to be in this together. um you know that could have solved everything.
Yeah.
And again, a little humility, being a servant leader,
Yeah.
kind of being like that, as opposed to like, and people, people have been in the community, have heard these things like, uh, they're just all, there'd be some, even if it'd be something stupid like a little rewards or something, like, well,
Hmm.
I told everybody and no
Yeah.
one took action
Yep.
and no one did. And it's like, okay,
Thanks for the support, bro. This really
yeah,
feels
yeah,
like you're looking out for us.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the overall gist of how I felt too. The one thing I'll add, because I want to shift the conversation back to you on positive things that are coming from you for you, and things that I'll be supporting as well, is I just want to kind of close my thought on this.
Frankly, I don't even. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is just an old chapter at this point.
Yeah,
It's
it's an
eyes
old chapter,
forward.
and we're closing this chapter, but we want to be able to share our truth and share what's from our perspective and our lens. And the really thing that stands out is I started creating those memes, just to poke fun. The guy takes shots at me on every single stream. And I remember you saying to me at one
It
point,
would bug me. It would bug me.
it bugged
It,
you, right?
yeah. Well, anyway,
And
go on. What?
and
I'm
so that
sorry.
was
Cut you
kind
off.
of like you started to see that, and that kind of sparked your like
Well, what
awareness of.
bugged me is there was always this talk about how he helped you so much,
Hmm.
and to a way to where it would almost be like him taking credit.
Yeah.
So he
But
would
then
kind
when
of,
I would take credit,
exactly. So it's like he would kind of publicly take credit,
uh-huh.
because Adrian couldn't have done this himself.
Yeah.
But then, when you would come in with some news or something, it would just kind of be like, what a fucking idiot you are.
Uh-huh.
And how, and again, there was always like a tinge of malice to it.
Oh yeah.
It
Oh
didn't,
yeah. No,
it
100%.
never felt like constructive, like, hey, I'm trying to help my boy out, and I'm let
Yep.
me, it always, there was always some malice, oh, for sure, and people could hear that, and again, it would bug me, because it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Number one, because I'm always trying to be sort of lighthearted,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like always trying to run a space where like people are having a good time and like kind of laughing, and
Yeah.
my
You don't
character
bring
in
that
there. It's like
energy. Yeah.
full degen, and like I'm drunk at 9 a.m. and it's like this kind of funny thing, and uh but and it would just shift, and it would just be like I don't know where to go after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there would just kind of be like, okay, all these bombs just got dropped on Adrian, and now I'm sort of like holding the mic, like
Yeah. So,
And in other news,
yeah.
like,
Well, what people
it's
don't
just,
know is I made a bunch of posts about or I had sent a bunch of messages to Gary about wanting to do meme militia and train up the meme militia and get them to start posting for Gary and doing raids. And I was planning on doing week 2 raids. Started the program while people are, sending him screenshots like Long Neck Larry and talking trash and all this. And so I was preparing to try to do this for him. And then instead of me getting to do it, he went out and announced a meme war and just undercut me. And I was like, wow, okay, so I'm going to try to come up with a strategy here that pokes fun at him because he wants to take shots at me all the time. I can take some shots back, and I'm a graphic designer. I'm a freaking award-winning graphic designer, and I'm pretty fucking creative. And I know that I can knock this shit out of the park. And I'm going to do something that nobody else in this space has the balls or the backbone to do. And I'm going to take some shots at Gary. I'm going to put this
yeah,
full giraffe on a leash, and I'm going to put giraffe steaks 50% off because the floor is 50% off.
yeah,
More than that now. And
yeah.
it was, to be honest, it was brilliant. But in hindsight, looking back on it, I made a mistake in doing it because I don't think I gave communication up front that I was taking that different approach. And so what did I do? And in my own community chat, as you're in there, I was like, hey man, I apologize. I did this wrong. Let's stop. I posted those 4 memes. One of my buddies posted 1 meme. Let's just end it there. Clearly people are not happy about it. This wasn't meant to be taken seriously. We were just going to have fun with
You know
this.
what? I didn't even mean to have this segue into that. Again, I don't plan things like that.
Yeah.
But here, this conversation wasn't planned, but
Yep.
here it is. Like you did what a good leader does. What I've just been harping on, which is, hey, I probably should have communicated up front on this.
Yep.
Which, fine, maybe you should
And I
have,
kind
but
of did in a way. I was like, no one's going to see what's
the
coming.
thing is, though,
It's
it's Web3. It's
Mhm.
Web3. It's memes.
Dude,
Like, they're not
bro.
meant to be Hallmark cards. They're
Yeah.
fucking memes.
Oh,
Okay.
you're
And
oh,
like, it's that's what Web3 is. It's kind of trash talking and stuff. So I
dude,
guess the
seriously.
meme war got too worry. Is that what you're saying? The
Yeah,
war
we
got
got
too
too
worry.
worry. Oh, we could
Okay.
talk trash about penguins, and you could troll all these other profiles and talk trash about all these other
Jesus.
people. When you get a little shade thrown at you,
Yeah.
all of a sudden the whole world blows up, and
It didn't
I'm
go
brought.
my way.
It's
It
like,
didn't go my way.
it's
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
wild. So I'm excited to put that chapter at least I'm going to say not that chapter, but I'm going to put that relationship behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm still a giraffe. No one can take that away from me. You can block me from the Gary Club group. You can do it. I'm still going to be a giraffe. My PFP picture isn't changing. I love my giraffe community. All the
Yeah.
people here
Good
that
for
have
you.
helped me. I haven't been chasing, like I wrote this down, clout chasing attention. I don't need attention. I don't need clout. I have a successful Web2 business. I'm going to have $1 billion exit on a company. Like I don't need Web3. I'm doing this because I love community. I love people, and I wanted to build something real. And so I know you want to build something real. And as we transition to the positive, to the exciting stuff, what's coming for Joe? What do we have all to be excited about? Because we know that spaces are going to be coming back. I know it's
Oh,
going to
spaces
happen.
are definitely coming back.
Yes.
Spaces will come back for sure. I look, this was all super unplanned. Okay. Like again, had you talked to me before any space, I never know what I'm gonna say. No, there's never a script, there's never anything.
Yeah,
I
no, we
just
don't
sort
know.
of wing it.
Yep.
And that's sort of in a way probably not the best way to live children, but it is how I live. Yeah, thank you, Danny. It is all my fault. It is. Not the first time I've heard that. Um,
Uh,
you know, look, this I felt like right after all this kind of happened, whenever I first like heard heard the space that made me kind of just like throw my hands up and say I'm done.
Yeah.
After well, first let me just acknowledge that real quick because I was very angry.
Uh-huh.
I was.
Yeah.
I would just say if I'm somebody who like starts an NFT project and then someone like me comes along who wants to dedicate their time and like run spaces and do, rather than like talk shit about that person and act like he's doing something nefarious when I'm not. Everything I do is completely in the open and public, you know. Thank you, Danny. Um, I'm anyway, not that I'm saying I deserved an award or anything, but I'm just saying, it didn't deserve like a
Like a F
like
you, bro. Yeah.
be and like not even like a man, like not even like if you have all these feelings, call me and tell me you have all these feelings.
Yeah.
Don't like wait until I'm not in a room somewhere and then start like talking to other people. Anyway, whatever.
That's true.
Um it just it literally I was with my mom and my aunt like having dinner when I got there and I was like shaking. I was so mad.
That sucks, bro.
Um so none of that was planned, obviously. And then after I kind of like calmed down, took a couple of deep breaths and tried to enjoy the rest of my night with my aunt who I love very much and my mom and
Mhm.
enjoyed that time. I just looked at it and I was like, you know what this really is, I've heard this before. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard it and I'll keep it because it is a little Hallmark cardy, but I'll keep it. The Chinese don't have a word for crisis, just a
Yeah.
word for opportunity. And instead of this being a crisis, let it be an opportunity. Let this be something that opens a new
It's
door.
happening for you, not to you,
That's
dude.
right. That's right. So um I basically ended up getting rid of what drafts I had left, and then just letting my other like loans and stuff that I have foreclose and
Mhm.
kind of just go, so I can just kind of wash my
Good.
hands of it.
Wash your hands of it. Yeah.
And um, then I said, you know what, I'm gonna just do my own thing here. I'll do my own thing. I'll start my own thing.
There you go.
We'll figure this out. We'll get through this, and I'll start something on my own. And so that started a little bit of a thought process and kind of ideating on things. And if you see, I haven't really made any public announcements about it until right now. I will.
Mhm.
But Money Masters is going to be coming your way. That's going to be an NFT project where I'm not going to promise. Look, I'm not working with any Fulani tribesmen in northern Nigeria. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to be coming up with some crazy new tech.
You're not building
You
a
know,
stacker agent?
no, I'm not. Turns out I don't have any ins with people in the Sahel, so I'm not going to be able to come up with some of this like tech that's the holy grail of investing.
Yeah.
So I don't have that for you, but what I do have is like what the promise of Web3 is, right? Like, why is everyone in Web3? We're here to make money.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be about. We're going to be about making money. I'm not going to give any false promises. I'm not going to give all the bullshit, that we're going to save the wells and all. We're not doing that. We're here to make money. We're
Mhm.
going to be here to make money. Kind of like the thing Dunk and I wanted to start in Discord a while ago, where
Uh-huh.
we were going to, do a few DGen plays. That's what we're going to be about. It's not going to be that same thing.
Mhm.
Again, this will probably be more centered around some liquidity pools and stuff going on in the back, which I'll get more detailed about,
That'd be neat. I like that.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be coming out here really soon. Actually, I'm planning on doing the mint next week, so we're gonna already kind of have the art. Look at my PFP if you want to see it, and there's going to be more stuff coming out right away, and the puppies. Okay, yes, Danny, I will.
Danny's on a roll.
He's on a roll today, and it's because he's pregnant.
Yes, that's
I
exactly.
don't. Okay, that's the other big news that was announced today, guys. Danny is pregnant.
Rizel Dan says, I like money.
Yeah, well, then you're gonna like our project. All right, Dan.
I know it'll have a lot of integrity. If there are mistakes along the road, they will be owned.
Oh, I'll tell you this. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be
exactly.
mistakes. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah.
We're all broken people. We all make mistakes. There's a lot.
Man is fallen, baby. Man is fallen.
Man is fallen. There's a lot of
If this whole episode didn't show you that, then let this be a lesson.
What's Joe's at? Do you know your handle?
Yeah, Joe, Joe, M like Michael, G like George, 2018.
There we go. You heard it straight from the Joe's mouth.
And we're just saying, yeah, the Joe, right?
Face to face. It says a lot because I tried to have other people on the show, and it says a lot. Oh, we didn't get into that, but the whole event and the summit and the fact that you supported me on the summit, that really meant a lot. And I'm trying to change lives, and everybody here is trying to get more liquidity to buy more giraffes, buy more NFTs, buy more tokens. And I've showed up every single day, day in and day out, giving away hundreds of thousands of tokens, giving away hours of my time, to the point where even my business partner's like, dude, like, come on, man, and I'm going to continue to do that. I know you're going to continue to do that, because we're not in it to try to profit from people off the backs of other people. I'm trying to build people up. And that's why I'm all in with you, dude. It is just, I want to continue to build people up. And I know that's what you're going to do. Support people. And
that's the promise of Web3. We all win together, man. And like, WAGME is a thing. We all gonna make it. I always liked that energy. We're all gonna make it. We can do it together. Again, are we all gonna make it? No, probably not. I get it. There's people who aren't going to, but again, that idea, like, just it's a beautiful mind. John Nash, right? If we all go after the blonde, we all lose, right? But if we all work together and we all go talk to our friends, hey, we can all go home with dates. And that's what Web3 is. It's that cooperative capitalism, and it's a model that works. And I've seen it work. I've seen it done successfully, and I just figured, what, instead of me just being a part of something, it's probably time. This is God telling me, okay, you know what, this is for you to do it now. Just like with the space. For a long time I was like, why isn't there a space? I was like, well, that means you need to go take action, Joe. You go do it. And so with this, I'm like, all right, this is, I need to go do it. So that's what I'm going to do.
Nobody else was. So I can't tell you how much it's meant to me, just to kind of close all of this, on the giraffe side of things, to have seen my bags go to what they went to see them build up, to see the giraffes. I mean, dude, some of the stuff I got to share with people, the experiences I had with my daughter, we got giraffes, there's just like so much.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a true pleasure. I made a lot of friends. I hope everyone still considers me a friend. I know some people won't, and that's unfortunate, but I've been pretty generous with my phone number, and everyone kind of knows how to get a hold of me and get a hold of me. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
There's no ill feelings, I know, on my side to anybody, and you to anybody. I want to wish every single person in this system, in the Web3 world, I should say, well and much success. Whether they want to have that success or not, or they'll self-sabotage, that's totally up to them. They get to make that choice. And people matter, like, I just really want people to walk away from today's show understanding that, like, relationships actually matter. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about the blockchain. It's not about throwing people away. It's about leaning in and facing your challenges, facing your problems, owning your shit, and being the absolute best person that you can every day. And when you fuck up, just say that you fucked up. And so, a lot of people.
And you know what? I mean, I hope everyone heard what Boycel just said there, because you will walk an inch taller. If you fuck up, say you fucked up, you're going to walk an inch taller that day. I'm telling you, you'll feel good about yourself. People will respect you because you had a spine.
Because you had a freaking spine, which a lot of people really struggle with that these days. And so that's another thing. Like, you are your best asset. If you're not building yourself up, that's what being a skill stacker is all about, is you becoming the best version of you. Don't unfollow me. I won't unfollow you. That's hilarious, Don. So with that being said, Joe, you're the fucking man. We're going to do a lot more. I appreciate you putting your face out here and showing up and sharing what you shared and in a way with integrity. And that's all I was expecting. This is exactly, you exceeded my expectations, but this is exactly what I was hoping for, was just an honest, raw conversation without attacking anybody, without belittling anybody, just being real and honest about our experiences. And that's it.
I did go a little hard on the Fulani tribesmen, so sorry about that. But okay. Hey, man, it was great. I'll let you run. I know you're trying to wrap up, dude. This is awesome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Boycel. And yeah, dude, onward, upward, and we're gonna definitely be doing a lot more in the future. I can't wait for it.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Love y'all. Take care.
And Danny says, sorry, my phone is in and out today. Bye, Danny.
Bye, Danny.
Bye, everybody. We love you guys. Have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow. Got another. Oh, and I'll be doing the million stacker and the queen giveaway this afternoon. So don't forget about that. I'll do a space for that and I'll give it away. I'm about to do a space in a stream or something like that, but we'll give that away just afternoon, like 1 o'clock.
Maybe I'll pop in there with you.
Heck yeah. All right, bro. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
Keep looking up.